And to this day, there is a bump just underneath the skin on the lower right-hand side of the back of my skull. And I'm not prone to that. I don't have any other bumps back there, and it wasn't there before I went out there, and it's been there for going on 2 years now.
Well, surely you want to have that X-ray.
To answer your question, after giving you all that information, since the implant, I've been experiencing on a fairly regular basis some pretty bad headaches, which I never had before.
We have this question for you. Is Area 51 on any sort of spiritual vortex?
I don't know. I don't know how to answer that. I think that I don't know about spiritual vortex, but I know that the activity that's going on out there, I believe, has been going on out there for well before Roswell. Let's put it that way. Roswell is used as kind of a timeline for when America supposedly got involved in all of this, and I think it goes well beyond that. I think that there's probably always been one type of base or another, and I wouldn't certainly I don't have any proof, but I wouldn't doubt if the Area 51 wasn't put there because of knowledge of other bases that weren't human that might have already existed out there. That's just a theory, but yeah, there's I can say that after especially the Coyote Summit video with the 3 dozen UFOs, there's obviously a huge, enormous amount of activity out there, well beyond what anybody would think was going on out there.
Okay, Steve would like to know: do you have any new info on the Planet X?
Planet X. I have actually on my homepage. The best video that I've found on YouTube is on my homepage, right on the front, because I think that Nibiru is extremely important news, but probably the most important news for all people on the Earth. And so I haven't heard anything new about it, no, but I keep looking into it. That's one thing I stay on top of, and certainly if I run across new information, I will be putting it on the website. Yeah.
And that website is?
UFOs over area51.com.
Indeed. All right, everyone, we are talking to John Mitchell, and of course, currently calling us from the Sunshine State of Florida. John, we have this question from Alex. Have you been to Dulce, New Mexico?
I have not. I'm very interested in going out there, though. I've heard that there's a mountain range out there you can climb, and actually there's some type of huge ventilation system on top. That's the story, anyhow. And yeah, I haven't been, but definitely interested in checking into it for sure.
All right, we have this question come in on the Fast Blast for you. John, would you recommend or encourage others who have had some kind of UFO experience to talk about it, whatever the cost? I guess the cost would be humiliation.
Absolutely. I think it's time for everybody to ignore what we've been trained to believe, the way we've been trained to think about that, the way we've been trained to ridicule people who talk about it. All of this is something that's been put upon people to behave that way. It's time to be open-minded and listen to each other and ignore what Big Brother is saying, because that's one thing that just amazes me in the UFO community, that people keep going back to Big Brother asking questions, wanting information from the same people who have been lying to you from the very beginning. So, yeah, I definitely encourage everybody to do that. And I would also like to add that people who believe that they are contactees, I would suggest that they go out and buy a camera, even a cheap one, and try taking some pictures, and I think they'll be amazed. I think that the contactees are people who will have the best luck at being able to videotape new paranormal activity.
So you consider that you have an implant to this day?
Yes, sir.
Would you make any kind of wild-eyed speculation that perhaps you might be what's euphemistically termed a star child?
Could be. Like I said, there's a lot of things about me that are that are happening that are very paranormal. A lot of it I can see where it's tied into all the way back to my childhood, for instance. And all of this, I understand how this sounds to say this, but I'm just going to say it anyhow. In my name, since I've been started signing my name, I've been using the number 7 right in the middle of my name, something I never even considered or thought about. But when I spelled Mitchell out, I used a 7. And maybe if I was going to think about it at all at any time, I would have chalked it up to being an artist, a bit of an artist here, and not have thought about it too much. But that 7 is something that goes all the way back to my childhood, and now it's tying into what's happening to me now. So yes, like I said before, I believe that what's happening to me now is a process of something that I've been going through unconsciously, maybe since birth. I couldn't tell you.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any anything on your skin that forms a star of any type or any sort of symbol?
That's strange that you say that, a star. No. Other than my eyes changing, my iris is changing shape into the number 7. No.
Whoa.
I don't have any other signs besides that. I think that's pretty bizarre, though.
Yeah, I got to grant you that one. How about this?
Yeah.
Can you confirm any human-alien cooperation in Area 51?
I cannot confirm that, no. My experience, I have, I know that I had time missing. I know that something happened to me. I believe that this bump on the back of my head that's been there for the last 2 years is an implant. But as far as having a recollection of what happened during the 5 hours that I have missing, I just don't have any solid proof. And on that note, I am very interested in going into some type of therapy, regressive hypnosis, or something to that effect to try to find out more information.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now, have you physically seen aliens?
No, sir.
Okay.
No, filmed them, yes.
Okay.
Actually, on the front page of the website, there's a UFO leaving my website that's really probably the strangest looking UFO you can imagine. It's a sort of mushroom shaped. It looks like it has some type of propulsion system coming out of the bottom of it. And when you zoom right in on it, I'll just let people look for themselves. But if you have a fairly good computer, with good optics that you can look at the photos with, you'll see some stuff in there. There's a head, eyes, 2 arms, and on top of that, once I got out to Michigan and began filming up in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan at one of the docks that my ship goes to, which I did relative to what happened at Area 51, I decided, well, is this me or is it because I was at Area 51? So I set out in Michigan, went out into the woods and filmed a little bit just to see what would happen. And lo and behold, I have 22 of the mini DV tapes for my camcorder. All of them have UFOs on. What I call UFOs, not necessarily disc, but a lot of rod entities and a lot of other really strange stuff. Just unbelievable. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Would you say that those who believe that UFOs are demonic, would you say that that is just strictly a religious point of view, or do you think that at some portion of UFO activity is demonic and some of it is actual alien activity?
Absolutely. I've come to believe that, once again, I had no religious background whatsoever. I'm not a theologist. I don't consider myself a religious, quote-unquote, religious person, although I do believe in the Bible, absolutely. I believe in the Revelation, and that it's all very true and that we're living in that time. And since this has happened to me, it's opened doors. It's made me realize that I now believe in something that I didn't believe before. I believe that Satan is a real being, and that, yes, to answer your question, absolutely, that some of the, not all, but some of the UFO activity, and I would say a good portion of it, or maybe more, from Area 51 is definitely demonic.
Okay. All right, we have this question from Ken. He says that he's with a friend around the Grand Canyon National Park a few years ago, and they saw lights about 12 p.m. They sort of danced in the sky for close than an hour. One seemed to be brighter than the other. It seemed to follow it as well. And his question is, have you heard or seen any other sightings in the Grand Canyon area?
No, I have not. I did spend some time living out in Arizona, but that was well before any of this started happening. And no, and to be real specific, the night that I filmed the UFOs for my campsite, the only thing that I saw was strange. We'll back up a little bit. During the daytime, I filmed a completely round shadow moving along the ground approximately maybe a quarter mile from my campsite, and it was completely clear sky above it. There's no reason for the shadow to be there. I saw that, and at nighttime, while looking up in the sky, I saw a really distant light, a small pin of light, had been way up there, just streaking across the sky. When it got to be right about over the top of my head, a piece of it broke off at approximately